2 o'clock, so we'll bring our Diversion Authority Public Outreach meeting to order. And the first item is roll call. Dawn?
Mayor Dardis.
Here.
Mr. Van Amberg. Mr. Ebinger. Mr. Gust. Mrs. Grimberg.
Here.
Mr. Capitan. Mr. Campbell.
Here.
Mr. Steen.
Here.
Mr. Olson.
Here.
Mr. Seljeval.
Here.
Mr. Strands.
Yes.
Quorum is present.
All right, thank you. Next item is approval of the minutes from our July 21st meeting.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second? Second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 3 is approval of the order of the agenda. Do we have a motion?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 4, Communications Team Partnership. Jennifer.
Hi, good afternoon. So today I'm going to show some introductions for just some of the partnership that we've had on communications lately. Talk about just an initial work that we've been doing on the crisis and comms plan. And then Lily is going to go over the website redevelopment that we've been working on, just to share a little bit of insight there. And then we'll show some of the latest drone footage. So I will start off by introducing Amy Weiser Wilson. I'll let her say a little bit about herself, but she's just joined us recently for public relations and social media, but I'll let you say a bit.
Right. Hi, it's nice to meet all of you and to be here today. Like Jennifer said, I'm with Neon Loon Communications, and prior to that, I served in the Army National Guard for 20 years, including as the PIO during flooding in 2009 and 2010 and 2011. So I'm really excited to be on this project and be able to help communicate now what's being done to avoid all the stress and damage that everybody went through that I saw during those years. So I'm happy to be here.
And then we also have the communications team that's working on behalf of our RVA. So I'll let each of them come up and say a little bit so you can get familiar with who we're working with on the P3 side.
Hi there, I'm Sadie Rudolph. I work with Flint Communications. I am a public relations strategist. Kimberly Woljanki is the leader of our team. She couldn't be here today, but sends her greetings.
Hi, my name is Amy Norsted, and I am also a public relations strategist with Flint Group, part of the RRVA communications team. And I have a lot of experience covering the flood with my time with WDAY and Valley News Live for over the past decade. And so I'm excited to be on this role of things and be able to see the diversion get going after a lot of coverage that we've had through the years and working with a lot of you through the years. And so I hope to bring some of that knowledge to this project.
Hello, I'm Krista Driscoll. I'm also with Flint Group, and I will be the account manager, so I will be handling just day-to-day communications between our team on behalf of our RVA. So excited to be working on this project, and here's Jason.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for having us. My name is Jason Lotzer. I'm with Flint Group as well. I've worked as a creative director there for 11 years. An extensive experience working with PIC projects for both the North Dakota DOT, City of Fargo, City of Moorhead, for public information coordination on the visual side of things. So good morning or good afternoon, everybody, and hi, Roger.
So it's a great group that we've been working with so far. This is who I've been spending my time with for the past couple of months, just getting the crisis and communications plan where it needs to be. We're still finalizing just a couple of things. We've had several of the teams internally review between our RVA and our group as well. John Shockley just did his final review recently, and then our intention is to share it with you all this week, just so you'll be able to take a look at that and give some feedback. I'll stop there and see if there's any questions so far.
Any questions for Jennifer or the team? I want to welcome you to our project and look forward to working with you, and I'm sure Jennifer too is enjoying this relationship. Thank you.
Very much. Okay, and then Lily, if you want to come. Lily has been working with me on the website redevelopment. We've been talking about it for a little while. You know, we worked to get the homepage redone so far, just so we have a better starting off point for some of the events and things that we've been doing, so there's some good visual there. But I'll let Lily explain a little bit more about just the groundwork that we've been laying to get to the next phase.
Thank you. Hi everyone. So what you're seeing up there, like Jennifer mentioned, is kind of a before and after of the homepage redevelopment. You can see that it's a lot more clean, easy to navigate, clearly sectioned off, and that's kind of the direction we'd like to take the current website. The goal isn't really to overhaul any information, but just make everything easier to find and easier to navigate. So I just wanted to share a little bit about what we've been working on so far. This is kind of just an initial conversation to get everyone in the loop, and I'd really like to set up some individual times to capture feedback, and then continue to work together on this throughout the process. So nothing will be developed without approval. We'll share some sample designs as we get further along, and kind of iterate those as we capture your feedback. So I kind of just wanted to touch on the process that we've been going through. We kind of tried to define our audience, community members, landowners, job seekers, our internal partners, just to make sure that we know who to go to when it comes to getting everyone what they need. So also kind of addressing the current pain points on the website, what people are having trouble finding and accessing, and then again, what new things do people want to see? There was mention of like a project progress tracker that we're looking to implement, and that'll be something we show you guys later down the line as well. So what you're seeing.
And I'll point out that the project progress tracker that she mentioned is something that you had brought to me in one of my first meetings, where you were wanting some type of thermometer or something to track the project of the construction. And that's what we're looking to do on the website. One, so we can provide that for everyone to see. It's not maybe just in one location, but it also helps continue to drive traffic to that one source of truth where we're sharing information about the project. So sorry to jump in.
Yeah, no, thank you. So that kind of sums up a little bit about the research and footwork we've done so far. What's up there now is the draft architecture that we've created to better sort all the content pieces. So the purple at the top is going to be that home page, and then those light blue will be the other buttons in the nav bar, so the other pages. And then all those dark blue pieces are going to be the pieces of content that we've gathered thus far. Again, this is draft. For example, the lands page still really needs to be built out, and those are the kinds of conversations we're looking to have at this point. And so then after this, it'll kind of come to the design phase, and so that's where we'll bring sample designs. They won't be developed or functional or anything. It'll just kind of provide the layout, the content, and the new look and feel. So this is just an initial conversation, just to kind of provide a snippet, but I'm happy to answer any questions at this time, and I look forward to discussing in depth more too.
Any questions? Yes.
Thank you so much. Catherine Grinberg here. Good to see you, Lily. And great job on all this. This is looking awesome.
Thank you.
I'm just wondering, I was just kind of going through it and looking for the, where we can send businesses. I'm here on behalf of the chamber, and so thinking of the business side of it, vendors that may want to get involved or plugged into the project. Is that going to be part of this website, or is that a separate effort with the communications team, or where does that fit into things?
I would say that those that we're kind of still in the process of making those decisions, and that's kind of the thing I'd like to hear from all of you guys on what the best way to implement that for businesses. We want to make sure this is friendly to everyone that's going to be using it. So whatever would be easiest and most accessible, unless, Jennifer, do you have any specific ideas?
Yeah, I think it would be great for us to start to build out something like that together with the chamber. I know that we've been talking about some of the things that we've been facing so far with the project, and how we can put that in the website would be really great to integrate. Yeah.
Just a suggestion, several times I'm asked by people, how far ahead is the project from the projected? Are we ahead or behind? So in your visual of percentage of being done, it would be nice alongside to show the projected, to see if we are ahead or behind.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. So we're
Yeah.
looking at kind of implementing this in a dashboard sort of layout. So the more information we can kind of capture in that snapshot would be great. We want it to be interactive, so people can really play around with it and see any detail.
All right, thanks. Anybody else? All right. Oh, John.
Just curious, are we our own host, or are we hosted in the cloud, or how's that all?
Right, so we did have the county hosting through a hosting service, and they transferred that to us recently. So it is run through a hosting service, but we are managing that.
I suppose going forward, cybersecurity is absolutely front burner.
So those are actually some of the things that have been at the top of our list of discussing with the build is security, also accessibility to make sure that we're ADA compliant, and just a variety of things. When we're building this, we've had many discussions about making this clean and modern, but not too flashy where it just gets busy, but also really putting the care behind the work that we're doing before we build to make sure that we've thought through as many of the issues that we might face in building it. So we have it mapped out as best as possible, and it doesn't end up being a dumping ground and become cumbersome because we didn't consider some of those things before we built it. So that's why we've been talking about it for a while, and we haven't had a new site just yet because we're really putting a lot of effort behind the scenes to make sure that we have these conversations and consider things that we need to do before we actually start building. So I think we plan to set up some one-on-one meetings with those of you who have some great suggestions on things you'd like to see incorporated, and then we can make sure that we all align before we actually start building.
Okay. Anyone else? Yes.
Is there any part of this that's going to have a tab for the Corps of Engineers and what they're responsible for, what they're working with us in collaboration,
Yeah.
specifically for the?
We don't have an actual tab for just them, but we do have a section where they will be featured, as well as a section for them for jobs and other entities that we're working with for jobs. So there'll be a highlight of all of the key partners and the jobs available through them as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and then actually to kind of tack on to that, any like project materials that anyone would need will likely be found in the project library. It'll be super easy to search by keyword, category, date. So that would likely be the place people would go for those kinds of resources. When it comes to stuff related to the board and committee meetings, that overall archive tab will have all the past project information, if that was what you think the Corps would be looking for. That answers the question.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Lily. Jennifer?
Thank you.
Thank you. And then next, we have the drone video that we're going to show for the latest. It's only 2 minutes long, so I'm going to pull this up, and Chris is going to go through it.
Okay. Thanks, Jennifer. Real quick, just to give you guys a quick update on progress or construction for the core. We thought it'd be nice to show videos as we talk through this. But first, here at the Wild Rice site, again, making great progress. They're nearing 80% complete. There's a trip planned probably towards the end of November into early December to visit the gate manufacturers so we could do some on-site inspection and verification of the gate manufacturing process for both the Wild Rice and the DIS. Here at the Red River site, they're nearing completion of the pre-excavation for the Red River structure. That, barring the rain this week, that was scheduled to get done this week. It may spill a little bit into next week, but they're nearing completion of having that site cleaned up for the winter. They're also, the bypass should be fully operational on the I-29 site here this week. And then on the Red River structure, the Corps issued the RFP for the plans for the hiring a construction contractor for the Red River structure. And that should be completed towards the end of November and an award in the second quarter of next year. Here at the inlet site, they're nearing 80% complete. Sorry, I said that wrong. The Wild Rice site was about half done. The DIS is 80%, nearing 80% complete. And here at I-29, again, their plan is to have the bypass fully opened here by November 1st. May open this week, depending on weather. So making great progress there, and we'll be set for the winter, and then they'll continue that construction next summer. So. And then on SE1, I think coming up here, they're nearing basic completion of the actual or the main construction components. That the final vegetation and cleanup will happen after the winter and into like right around the end of June next year. Will be scheduled to be complete with the first full core segment here called SE1. So with that, if you guys have any questions, I can certainly answer those.
Just a consideration would be to show these to some of our government entities on occasion. I think that's a good visual.
Sorry about that.
I know at our county board level, to see this, I think it brings reality to the project.
Absolutely.
And I think it also gives another source to have it viewed by other individuals.
Well, it's a great suggestion. I don't think, Jennifer, that's a problem to share that link very easily.
Yep.
Chris,
We can share it.
Just quickly, let's get down in the dirt. Drainage issues, drainage as we go into freeze up. Let's make sure that gets taken care of so we don't have issues in the spring.
Absolutely.
Very important for the farmers.
I know there were some questions out in SE1 that are working through. Matt and the Corps are working through those, trying to get those addressed. So there's been some work on that already, Roger. So that's, good reminder before we get into the freeze down.
No, that's right. Thanks. Anyone else?
So I'll just share with the videos. C3 Media has done a really great job of getting us going with some videos. They have a plan to film some of this drone footage every month before these meetings, just in case we'd like to see it. I don't know if we'll show them every month, but at least we'll have that diary, that video diary every month going forward of the progress on the construction. So it'll be great for the website and social media as well. And then also, I'd like to share just a little bit from the recent Washington, D.C. trip. There's some, great pictures of the team when they went there just recently, and just thought I'd sign off the meeting with some warm feelings from their trip, that they had a really good visit, and I think it was very successful.
Who's the Viking in the beard?
Should I Photoshop that out?
Okay, any questions for Jennifer?
Yeah, I have a question. Jennifer, can you kind of just distinguish or help me understand the difference of the communication and what the plan is going forward between the diversion and the communications team with Flint helping the Alliance? there's a lot of in the public right now, what we're hearing at the chamber is people really wondering what's going on with the project now that the P3 is chosen, and just questions overall and wondering what the communication difference of roles and responsibility is between the two.
Yeah, so as the communications for the project, that is where everything starts, and we are partnering with our RVA for the communications that they're doing for that specific piece of the project. As you know, we have several partner entities in other areas working, so because that piece in particular is so big and they have their own communications team, I've been working with them to bring them on board as far as aligning with our communications and crisis plan. So they also have their own plans in place that they've been following until we have that, but they also need to follow the guidance from the authority to ensure that overall structure for the project, we're making sure that we're aligned across all of the entities on those plans. So does that help answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Along with that, so things like workforce and local erosion of workforce or housing questions, all of those that are kind of just surfacing with the overall project now, and wondering what the community's plan is, what we're doing, just thinking as the outreach committee here, wondering if we have kind of a plan or where that's gonna come from, if that's from this group or if that's from that group, or just making sure that all bases are covered, I guess, when the businesses and individuals have questions.
That's a great question. It's actually a little bit of both. So on our side, we're looking at doing an economic development study. And then I know our RVA has been working on some numbers from their side as well, where they're looking at the types of employment and the numbers of employment. And then we can kind of marry that information together to provide a little bit more insight for the chamber and others who are interested. It's not one collective source that's working on it, but we are partnering in those ways to bring that information to you. I know that we don't have anything right at this moment, mainly because we just formed our partnership with them recently, doing the financial close. So now we're really getting in motion to gather some of this data and really kick things off. So more will be coming soon on that.
Yeah. And I'll just take an opportunity here to let the committee know that I've been doing quite a few presentations to certain groups in the community. And a lot of those questions that you mentioned, Katie, are coming forward because I think folks understand it's a reality and this is happening. And now they're getting bits of information as we kind of release that information as we get it and get it out. So the not frustrating, but I think we have to let the process take some time because we can only distribute information as we get it and as Red River Valley, has that information available. But I think it's a great public conversation that we need to be having concerning these issues because I'm sure all of you as elected officials in your capacity are getting those same questions. And so we need to have talking points. We need to get data out when we can. But as Jennifer indicated, we're still waiting on some of that information, and until it's kind of worked through the system, we can't really answer some questions right now. But I'll say there's a lot of great interest in the workforce issue, the housing issue, and it's obviously going to be something that we're going to have to deal with over the course of construction. And so I know, Katie, we're working on trying to get the Red River Valley Alliance dovetailed in with the chamber on some different items, and so we'll continue to work on that. So just wanted to make this committee aware of that.
Thanks, Joel. Yeah, I think it was more than anything, I just want to make sure that there's not misinformation getting out there. So glad to hear that, we're working in partnership and how that's going to go, and wanted to know where we can send people. So we'll watch for more information. Thanks.
Thanks, Katie. Anything else, Jennifer?
No, that's it for me, unless you have any more questions.
Quick comment from the chairman. As we get contacted over the next couple weeks from Lily or Jennifer, please be open on what you would like to see this outreach plan and how it works. If you have ideas, if you have thoughts, if you look at the draft and say, this doesn't seem like it fits Fargo, North Dakota, be willing to express your feelings. And now is the time to form this outreach plan, and we have the opportunity to do that. So,
Great. Thank you very much.
yep, thank you. Next meeting is November 17th. Same place, same time. Motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Aye.